So here we are. The upper right in the red for the Juggernauts. It's GogojOey.
And on the other side, we have our blue Zerg player. He is Rex. Yeah, and it's worth mentioning that both of these players are in, going back to what you were talking about, the format for the Swiss style, where they have to make their basically death saving throws. Both of them have lost their first matches. GogojOey ended up losing his first match to Coffee, a really solid Terran player and everything. And Rex ended up losing a series to Jaishi, who's also like another pretty solid player for the region. But that does mean both of them already losing that first round. One of these players, unfortunately, is going to start off their Swiss format losing 2 series in a row. And that's really not a comfortable spot, basically being reduced down to your final life immediately into the Swiss format.
And one thing you got to remember, Fear Dragon here as well, is that Rex, GogojOey, in the Taiwanese Hong Kong region that they used to play in, they would go fairly highly. I mean, Rex played for Onside for a little bit. GogojOey was always top 4, top 6. So, you know, not even making the playoffs theoretically. And I mean, it's far. It's a long ways to go between even going 0-2 and getting totally washed out. It just means that, well, hey, when you go to 0-2, you play against everyone else who's 0-2, and you got a pretty solid shot of advancing if you are one of those players that we expect to advance. Even still, I feel like for either of GogojOey or Rex here, especially the games that we saw GogojOey play on round 1, not making the playoffs would be a bit of a surprise.
No, I'm definitely with you. It'll be pretty rough to see either one of these players potentially drop on out, but it's all going to depend on what's going on over here. And we have to talk about the kind of the fast evolution chamber that came out over here, and it is going to be for a +1 missile attack upgrade. I was not expecting that to be the upgrade actually coming out this quickly.
No, I mean, normally when you see a quick evo like that, it's melee. It's a Ling Flood. You run across maybe with Banes, it's maybe Carapace, it's maybe Attack. But it's something to do with the Lings, with that early tech. Instead, going with a ranged here, I mean, this is going to hit really hard, and I don't know how Rex is going to figure this out. I mean, Roachhorn at the natural, fine, but that's at the normal timing.
Yeah, man, this is going to be really interesting. I'm very curious to see also how Rex ends up responding to this, because like you were saying, evolution chamber, and there's kind of the wall in over here for GogojOey at the natural. So Rex, unless he is able to find some way to get some information out into the middle, or of the far back, I should say, of that main base of GogojOey, it's going to be really tough to identify this.
And look at this, he's building ranged upgrades at his natural, but it's melee, and he's going to cancel it immediately. I was a little hoping that was not going to get canceled and we were going to see some sort of weird +1 melee, +1 range timing, but no, this is not a ZVP. That's not going to happen. But the roaches are already on the way. It's Carapace on the way for Rex. Sure, yes, he's pumping Lings, but, well, I mean, he has cut drones fairly nicely. He's at 35, and he is pumping those Lings, but, Ravi, without any sort of Carapace upgrade, these Lings are going to get annihilated by these +1 roaches.
Yeah, and now Rex is seeing how many of these roaches are popping on out, so hopefully he's clicked on these roaches and identified that there is +1 attack on these roaches, and that they are going to obliterate Zerglings very, very quickly, even after Carapace is kind of popping on out. But the Lings are trying to make their little surround over here, try and pick off some of the reinforcements that are coming around, and they are able to find some of that damage, but the roach is already over at his third base. Like, it's already in the danger zone now.
You just got to give the third base up at this point. There's not enough tech. There's not enough army to save it. And look at this. Rex is just building more and more Lings. He doesn't quite have the money, I guess, to build more roaches. And actually, Lings are going to go on this round. He's going to try to save it, but there's no saving this whatsoever. At least he's going to be able to take the fight with the Broodlings. Maybe take some sort of a positive trade. But look at this little choke that they found. The roaches will eventually die, of course, but it's not going to be all that quick. And they're going to take a lot with them.
Yeah, so I mean, this is obviously really great damage to be able to kill off the third base. I am a little bit worried about the counterattack, though, because you look over here and cool, you've managed to do a full wall off and all of that good stuff, but there's no way that your third base gets up. And remember, GogojOey did have to invest a lot into getting up that fast +1 missile attack upgrade, and now he's also given up all of his map control because he has to reinforce and remake all of those roaches he just lost. And I would say not necessarily the most cost efficient trades, where Rex is down a few workers, don't get me wrong. I think that there's still some things going well for GogojOey, but I don't actually hate this position that much for Rex.
No, I really like these Ravagers as well. It's a lot of pressure. It forces GogojOey to move out. He does have +1, right? That is technically a better upgrade for the Link surrounds. They're going to make a lot of a difference here. So more and more Evo is going down. Links are now going to look for the surround. Roach 4 and fall, so no more of those units that you've spent so much to make. And now Roach speed's going to be slow as well, so it's not like there's going to be a second level of tech advantage for the most part. I guess that's +2, but that's a ways off.
Yeah, exactly. So +2 weapons is going to be the big thing that GogojOey is counting on. But remember, during all of this, there is no third base here for GogojOey. So in a sense, he's going to effectively be kind of all in off of the 2 bases until he can finally reestablish some control. So I guess the real question is, does he feel like he can end the game with +2 weapons on basically 2 base economy?
That's such a good question, right? +2 speed roaches are a powerful thing against especially what is primarily speedlings, right? It's not incredible, but there's something, and they do have that carapace, so they're going to survive maybe a little bit longer, even though actually technically the +1 kind of cancels that out. The big deal, though, is where does Rex choose to spend his larvae? He does have that third base, right? That is the advantage that he has, and he has been droning up behind this. It's so easy, and we've seen Zerg players do this in this tournament already. It's so easy to get ahead and think, I just got to build units. I got to run in. I'm going to kill him right now. I have this advantage, or I've taken too much damage the other way. But Rex kind of does a really good job of identifying what his position is in this game, where he, like, how much room he has. So he is droning behind that. He is getting Roach speed. He is that next level of tech. And by doing so, unless GogojOey goes and kills him right now, he's not really going to give Rex a shot back in this game. Or he's not really going to give GogojOey much room back into this game.
Yeah, I'm with you. I am a little bit worried. And here's the thing. We're going to find out in a moment's time whether or not Rex made the right decision. But I was a little bit worried that Rex may be over-droned over here, given the situation that he is likely just going to be attacked. But we're about to find out that he's doing a great job buying some time with these speedlings, and he's going to be able to go for an attack on the third base, ensure that GogojOey does not have anything to fall back to, but instead realizes he needs every single one of those Zerglings available over here, gets a nice little surround, but remember, it is going to be a lot about the advantage of those upgrades and the overwhelming number of roaches for GogojOey. But the problem is, he just doesn't have the advantage anymore, and you can see Rex dominates the fight.
Yeah, technically, +2 is better than 1-1, but not by this much. And certainly when you have Defender's advantage, you have +16 drones on your economy. That's absolutely how that's going to work. Rex looks strong in his opening match here in round 2. He takes a 1-0.
Yeah, really, really interesting game there. And while, of course, Rex is the one that takes the game, I feel like a lot of the interesting segments or bits from that come from GogojOey's decision to go for that really weird, like super fast +1 missile attack upgrade rather than the melee upgrade while still being that aggressive. And here's the thing, Bale, I look back on that and it's a really cool idea. And in some ways, it looks flashy in the sense that it kills the third base. But again, you give up all of your map control because you kill your opponent's third base, but then they just immediately retake it and you lose your own third because you sacrifice all of your early game roaches in order to get that kill. If he didn't target fire down the hatchery also while he was getting attacked there, I actually think that he just ends up losing all of those units, the reinforcements and everything. So it felt like in the end, Rex just had a really good defense against it, and I'm not really sure what GogojOey could have done differently with that kind of build order to make things work out differently.
I mean, I guess part of it was it was non-committal, right? He goes and he gets aggressive and he attacks. I'm like, great, okay, this is gonna be great. And then he commits like, what was it, 7-8 roaches, and he goes and he's droning behind that. He's taking a third base behind that. And I understand, right? It is royal blood. It's always going to be hard to end the game on 2 bases when you don't have roach speed. You don't have really the way to reinforce. You don't have link speed behind that. You don't have any of these things that allow you to add a secondary army to what you have. But I can't help but feel that if he had just had 15 roaches and like just continued to rally them across the map like that, they were only 0-0 lings. I feel like that might have been enough, but a defender's advantage is a crazy thing.
No, I think I'm with you on that. I think that is the thing that makes the most sense to me is if you're going to invest that much into that, it makes sense to continue investing into it. I can see the other side of maybe where like the train of thought goes where you say like, well, I'm investing in +1 missile attack. This is going to be a useful upgrade. So I can actually play this out into a longer term game. It's like, well, can you if you don't have your third? But like, is the advantage you're really getting from this just that you're going to have the upgrade advantage? Because we saw like that losing the economic advantage really does cost you in the end. You just basically get overwhelmed. I do want to also commend Rex on his usage of the speedlings, because I do think it's very easy for a Zerg player in Rex's situation to not have those speedlings as active and out on the map when that big, like, second +2 big attack comes, and all of your speedlings are just still sitting over your third base. They all get choked up and stuff, so you don't get like that full surround action going on, and you don't really get to make a full use of everything. So I do think that Rex did a good job making use of the units he had as well.
Oh, yeah. No, he did a very good job of that one. The surrounds, the biles. And I really, yeah, you talk about making good use of the units. Just building a couple Ravagers to put pressure on GogojOey to make sure he had to move out. And he had to do something about it. And couldn't just kind of sit there at home and build spines and build walls and transfuse and all that. Good decisions. But we're going to move into round 2 pretty quickly. Yeah, excuse me. Map 2 is going to be Dragon Scales, not map 1. And I wonder here what we're going to see. Because we saw the crazy aggression round 1. It's a build that I don't really feel I don't feel like I want to steal, but it was a thing we saw with that really quick +1 ranged attack. I wonder what we're going to see here in round 2, because GogojOey, I don't think of him as a standard player. You know, he's not, oh, you know, I tried my all in round 1 and it didn't work, so here we go. We're going to go this safe. We're going to go what everyone does. No, I got to figure he's got something else up his sleeves.
Yeah, GogojOey to me, like he's forever immortalized from the earlier days when he used to have like WCS in 2017, 2018 and stuff, and Challenger seasons, where like in my mind, I think of GogojOey and the first thing that comes to mind is in the era where every Zerg player was going for Mutalisks and stuff. He was like, I'm going to make Corruptors. And you just kind of like look at him and like, you're going to make Corruptors? What are you talking about? Everyone's making Mutalisks, so why are you making Corruptors? It's going to get outrun, but still somehow makes this really weird and wonky style work. I think he's definitely not afraid to play a little bit outside the norm or throw out some kind of strange stuff here and there. But I also wouldn't hate it if that was more of a build that you throw out in a best of 3, and then game number 2, you go back to something a little bit more normal, and then kind of mix things back up into game number 3. And I'm not actually saying to not be aggressive. I think it's totally fine to be aggressive, but there's a lot of really good normal aggression that comes in ZVZ as well. So I wouldn't hate to see some of that.
All right. Well, is it going to be normal aggression? Is it going to be extra special GogojOey aggression? I don't know, but we're moving on to a different map. It's Dragon Scales, this map too. And in the upper left, in the red, he's down a game for the Juggernauts, GogojOey.
And on the other side, we have our blue Zerg player currently sitting up 1-0. He is Rex. Alrighty. Well, I was saying this before, but this is going to be an important match for both of them. You really, really don't want to end up starting off your Swiss format kind of group sitting down 0-2 after 2 rounds, because it does mean, like you were saying before, those death saving throws, like you only have 3 lives basically to work with, and it's starting the game by losing 2 lives. Now you're kind of like in this weird Dark Souls-y kind of run where it's like, all right, you're a level 1 character and you're entering into the really difficult matches coming up after this. You're not allowed to get hit anymore. You will get 1 shot at that point. So it is very, very important for both of these players to do their absolute darndest to try and win this series. But unfortunately, one of them is going to end up in that situation. The other one's going to be able to buy themselves a little bit more breathing room for the rest of this group.
Fear Dragon, I do have some good news for you. If you are a GogojOey, if you're a Rex, death saves, right? It's just it's randomness. You roll a 20-sided die, you get what you get. There's a little bit more skill here, right? You know, you do have the ability to kind of put your thumb on those scales to I don't know, put a little dot, put a little bit of weight to make sure you roll that 20.
That is very, very true. Well, I have actually, I've been like on a Vsauce YouTube marathon lately, and I've been like watching all these random videos and stuff, and some of those videos are also just about how people have gotten very good at rolling dice, but like the way that you roll it, it makes it look like you're rolling it really, really well, but it's actually just, you're actually rigging the results and things like that. So, you know what? If you're really, really good, I think you can also use some skill on those dice rolls as well. But I totally agree that GogojOey has a lot more opportunities to use his own skill level over here, and a lot more, you know, leeway to try and throw out something a little bit out there to go back to something a bit more standard. That last game, I can really feel like we can chalk that up to some strategic decisions that didn't quite pan out. And I think it's a lot easier to move on from games that don't work out that way, where it's like, I tried something a little bit like off the beaten path. It didn't really work out because maybe I made like a misplay, or maybe this just didn't work out well against what my opponent did. But moving into game number 2, I feel like it's not the most disheartening thing to happen.
I mean, Fear Dragon, you say that, but look at this. You talk about, okay, but maybe it's just something one-off game 1. GogojOey. This is a very quick layer coming in game number 2, and this was scouted, by the way. This was not in the main. This was not. I was kind of thinking that this might get canceled. You know, Rex runs in, sees the layer. Okay, well, clearly that's not what's happening. You cancel it out. But no, layer is just about done, and this is looking like Mutas here. 4 gases really early.
Yeah, it's going to have a massive insurge of gas with, like you were saying, that super fast layer that's finishing on up. But a Roach Warren is also being added on as a part of the wall-in. Rex is going to try and keep an eye on things, just wants to make sure that he has a good read on whatever information he can still find at the front. Because like you were saying, this could still be some kind of weird fake out or something. But as soon as you eventually start to realize, wait, you're really not going to be grabbing any kind of third base. I don't see the evolution chambers researching anything right now. It's probably not some big +1 missile attack upgrade or something, or some big roach push that oftentimes comes out. It should really start kind of making Rex think, Mutas seems like a pretty reasonable guess.
Yeah, I mean, especially now with nothing working on those Evo chambers, you're very right. So now the question is, how does he look to respond? Okay, he has maybe some idea that there are Mutas here. Checks now that, okay, there's something researching, but kind of a little late in this game, especially on 2 bases. So he's got Carapace just about done. There's a pretty powerful timing you can look to hit with that one, but you know, maybe you're going to be a little slow. This is 2-base Mutas. So instead, well, maybe not instead, but on top of this, a layer is on the way. Extra gas is getting added in. And if we just see Rex go off 3-base play and not take that much damage, you know, just kind of sit here, get his spores up when he needs to, and then run across the map with a massive kind of Roach Hydra, Roach Queen, something type of timing. That seems pretty promising, but for now, just have a little across the map, and he's not going to find his way in. Never mind.
Yeah, and I do wonder if Rex doesn't think that this is Mutas and that this is a big +1 missile attack Roach attack, because he's flooding out a lot of his own Roaches, and he's definitely got a nice little economic advantage, having the 3rd base completed and having a bit of a drone advantage and all that good stuff. But yeah, it seems like he's going to be adding on the Hydra Den now. It's just going to be kind of interesting because he's made think of it this way, he's made a lot of these Roaches now that are not really going to be able to do anything on the other side of the map. And I mean, he's made a lot more Roaches than he would need. So it does kind of ring to me like he's sort of realized maybe in the past minute that it's probably Mutas, because it did seem like he was really respecting the idea that there could be some units coming across the map.
Yeah, that's fair. The trick now, though, is what is GogojOey going to be able to get done with this? Carapace is already done, yeah. So Roaches, Queens, whatever take you, they're not going to take nearly as much damage. +1 melee's done now, and Lings are feisty, but they're not that feisty. And yeah, Rex he's not even going for some sort of big pushes. Oh, that's going to be a dead spore here. There's another one in the mineral line, though, so that's something. This is not going to be the whole, I'm going to run across the map with a bunch of Roach Hydra. No, it's lurkers. I'm going to turtle up on my 3 bases. You can have the map. That's fine, Muta player, because eventually I'm going to hit high. Eventually I'm going to have this army that your Mutas, they just cannot fight. And Fear Dragon, the worst part about this is 2-base Muta. This is not, oh, I got up to 3 bases really quickly. This is really quick 6 gas. I have so much money behind this. No, this is, I'm going to get my Mutas as quick as possible. I'm going to try to establish as much map control, but because that is so slow in the grand scheme of things, because your Mutas are off 2 bases, it's only off of 4 gas, making the transition, moving into, say, Hydra or Hydra Lurker play of your own, because that is kind of how this ends up having to go, that's going to be slow. You're not really, by the time that you have the economy and the map control that you bought for yourself, the Hive's already generally just about done, but for now, the Mutas, they do find their way into this 4, you know, it's gonna poke away a little bit. It looks like this 1 gas will go down, but you need more. You need a lot more.
Yeah, he's absolutely just going to have to continue to double down on the muta investment, going for +1 flyer attack, adding on additional mutas, adding on additional lings that can also take advantage of the +1 melee upgrade and everything. But as you were saying, Rex has already kind of gotten off a lot of the, the transitionary stuff with the more of the Hydras coming on out. And remember, he got those Hydra up, or like he got up the Hydra descent so quickly. 2 Spore Crawlers, handful of Hydra is going to be trading against the mutas. The mutas do, soften up the Hydra count a little bit, but I just don't know that was actually gonna be like super duper worth it, because you have to keep every one of these mutas alive. Like you were saying, he's playing from behind economically. Even after having taken a 4th base super fast, he still is just playing catch up on even worker counts.
Yeah, you really want to have the big eco lead at this point, because this army does not trade well. Mutas are good, right? They have they give you a lot of map control. That's very nice. And maybe if you find a Spore all on its lonesome, you can find some value off of it. But Mutiling Bane will never trade well against this army that Rex is making. The one downside, I guess, if we want to talk about it like that, it was a decently timed infestation pit. Hive is very late. Instead, he's got pathogen glands, he's got corrupt, or he's got infestors on the way. So means, hey, maybe a couple of roaches. So it's gonna be more mid-game, even as he tries to rush to the late game. There's a couple Hydras, got to be careful here, which, it's fine, but you gotta feel like the lurkers are already enough to deal with the lings and the banelings for the most part. You just really want those Vipers, because they make it almost impossible for the mutas to fight.
Yeah, I'm kind of with you, and I think that is the traditional way to deal with this. The fact that he's still just continuing to flood out more of these infestors, I do actually wonder if he's just planning to make a big push out with +2 missile attack, get up the Hydra upgrades, and just kind of maybe like a couple of lurkers or something to complement the army and help deal with things like banelings. Like, I actually wonder if he's even intending to go up to Hive, or if he just feels like he's going to go for this kind of older school style of dealing with this. The funny thing is, the fungal growth is going to work against both the banelings and the mutas over here, and he catches quite a few of them.
Yeah, unfortunately, he can't chain him out, though. And meanwhile, a bunch of banelings find their way into the 3rd base. Mutas, well, we said lurkers were going to be good enough, and that wall is a good attempt, but 17 drones go down. But Fear Dragon, you're right. That's only half the story here, because, yeah, the workers go down for the first time in a while. Actually, this entire game, GogojOey's got the money, but can he defend against this push? The Fungalo, it's going to whiff, and we have what?
Oh.
No Fungals left.
Yeah, he's useless to the energy at this point. So I think that one of these infestors will have a fungal growth available in maybe like 20 seconds, but that's still a bit of a ways off, and the engagement is happening right now. The mutas could even just start target firing down these infestors.
Yeah, it's a little bit awkward, but the lurkers here make it so hard for the banelings to engage, and mutas just don't fight Hydras like this, not with +1 carapace. So mutas trying to dive on top. We have no more fungals here. Roaches run in, and the Hydras, are they going to be able to sustain it? Seems like the muta count, no, it's not going to be enough. And Rex takes all the damage. Doesn't go to the late game, but does win the game, and at the end of the day, that's all that matters.